happy Monday. Tonight we will be continuing the Aurifil block of the month. We are stitching the rest of the embroidery into our 3 stripes here. So that's the plan. I'm loving how it's looking, you guys. Thanks for joining me here tonight. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for the beginning crafter. And I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. That's 9:30 Eastern and 6:30 Pacific. And it's a time that we can relax and craft together for about an hour. And I work on projects from beginning to end, so you can be part of the whole process along the way. So thank you guys for joining me. Again, we are working on the Aurifil July block of the month. So they're doing 12 blocks by 12 different designers. This is my block, actually. I gotta be one of the designers for this project, and mine was July. It is Tuscany, and it's called the Lavender Farmhouse, and we're making our fields of lavender with our little single chain stitches here, and we're gonna fill up the rest of this row, and we're gonna start on this row tonight. We might get done. If we're speedy enough, we might get done tonight. We'll see how that goes. Otherwise, we'll finish it up tomorrow. I think we are going to wait. I sent an email out today. We're going to wait to work on our embroidery of the month, which is the fabric scissors. We're going to work on the embroidery of the month. We're going to start that on Wednesday, not tomorrow. So tomorrow, if we're still working on this, we'll finish it up, but maybe we'll take a look at all that we have done for this project so far, and maybe work just like on another little side project. Have a little break in between projects, but then on Wednesday we will start the fabric only. So there's time to grab the PDF for it yet. You can just go to my link below for the embroidery month for that. And then this project, the Aurifil block of the month, is free. So you can go to the Aurifil blog to download that, and that's linked below as well. So thank you guys for joining me. Let me know how your weekend was, and I'm gonna flip around and get stitching. All right, so I have the pattern up on my iPad still if I need to refer back to it. So this again is that free pattern. And here we are. We got pretty far on Friday, so I'm pretty happy about that. Thanks for joining me, you guys. I see your comments. Marie says it's coming alive. Yeah, I do actually think that adding all of these little single chain stitches really is adding a pile of texture. And we did these windows on Friday. It looks fine if you don't do any of this embroidery, but it really is adding an extra layer, I think. And look how it lightens up my gray stripes. So this is that same dark color, just about, well, this is a little more purple, but it's still pretty dark. Look how light it feels with the stitching on top of it. I think it just makes it just more friendly and cute. I'm excited about it. All right, let's get down here. We are doing single chain stitches. So you might know these as lazy daisy stitches, but they're just one at a time. All right, it looks like I have some thread over from last time. We're splitting our 6-strand embroidery floss into just 3 strands. So, I split it into 3 strands and used the first 3, and these are the second 3 left over. And I'm also using some of the Wisecraft Handmade, their thread conditioners, and this has just been fun. This is new to me. I haven't used thread conditioners for embroidery, and it's working really well. So I've started to make it a little bit of a habit. So I'm just putting my finger on this. This is basically beeswax and like coconut oil. And I'm just gonna shimmy my thread through there. And this is gonna help keep all the strands together. It's gonna help prevent knots. And frankly, it smells amazing. So it's gonna just add a lovely smell to when I'm stitching. And there's 3 different flavors. Gosh, this one's really growing on me, the rainfall. It actually smells a lot like Christmas because it's got a little pine tree scent to it. Oh, makes me want it to be Christmas. It doesn't need to be that cold yet, but that would be fun. All right. Oh, Patty says it was hotter than the Devil's House this past weekend. Yeah, it's been toasty for sure. We've been stuck in the house for a couple days. It's actually yesterday and today it was manageable, but the few days before that, holy cow, we couldn't go out. It was just too much. John went out Sunday morning early to, maybe this was Saturday, early to do the lawn, and then had to come back in for the rest of the day because it's just too hot. All right, I'm weaving in the ends to some previous stitches, the backs of previous stitches, just to get started. I don't tie knots at all. Oh, Kathy got her cup today. Oh, I hope you like it. So that's another thing. So this embroidery of the month, I also made a cute mug as a little companion guy if you wanted to get a cute mug with the fabric only scissors on it. So that's available in the shop as well. I just kind of love it. It's so cute. I love the yellow handle, and it has like a bright yellow inside. I have some of my floss just chilling in here right now. I'm gonna have to actually wash it and have some coffee out of it though soon. But I'm hoping to do more cute fun things like that, more swag as we've been saying. So yay, I'm glad you got it, Kathy. Ooh, I got a little snag here. Okay. Ooh, and a fuzzle came along. All right, well, we're ready now. So the nice thing about these single chain stitches, I'm placing them kind of randomly. I mean, they're all kind of equidistant, but they are random. But I'm having them all go upward, so they're kind of like growing upward. And the nice thing about this stitch is that I don't ever have to go to the back of my piece. Like, I don't have to stick my hand underneath and pull the thread all the way through and then come back up. So it actually is a nice stitch for not using a hoop. You can use a hoop too, but if you just go in and out. So I pulled my thread out at that starting spot, and I'm going to go in the same hole, and I'm going to come out the height that I want my stitch to be, so right like that, but in the same motion. I'm going in and out in the same motion and stopping with the needle in the middle of the fabric there. Then I'm going to take the thread that's coming out of the fabric, and I'm going to just wrap it around the back side of the needle, just like that, and then we're going to pull the needle the rest of the way through. And so I never have to go to the back of my fabric until I'm done with the floss. That's what's kind of slick about this. And then I'm going to put that little tiny anchor stitch, so we have to hold this loop down somehow, and I'm putting a tiny stitch, and then I'm actually going to where I want the next stitch to be in the same motion. And that's our single chain stitch. There we go. Itty bitty bitty stitch holding it down. And I'm gonna just make those to the rest of the top here, and I got a whole nother row to do that, so we'll get going on that as well. I'm actually not quite sure we'll finish that. It does take a while to do this, all these little stitches. Oh, Marisa, about 35 minutes from Oshkosh. Nice. I know Oshkosh pretty well. Or well enough. Well enough, let's call it that. But yeah, this is actually, I don't know if you guys saw. Oh, it's, Noeline says it's freezing in Australia. Yep. Yeah, we are super opposite right now for sure. It's nice when it gets to be fall here and spring there, because then we start having kind of similar temperatures. Oh, Colleen says that she bought a second June embroidery and finished it over the weekend. Fun! Ooh, you guys, I did some embroidery over the weekend too. Is the background for the July embroidery white? Yes. So the bundle, here's the embroidery for the embroidery of the month. So the bundle this time does include the white piece of fabric. So it is on white. I kind of trade off every once in a while between the white fabric. It's still a white cotton muslin, and kind of my off-white. It's really unbleached, so it'll be like a kind of a creamier color with the cute little natural specks in it. So that's the unbleached muslin versus the white bleached. So, you know, there is a little bit of a difference there. I think it's fun working on the white sometimes and fun working on the unbleached sometimes. But yes, so you can stitch it on whatever type of fabric you want, Colleen, but what's included in the kit in the bundle this time is the white. And I'm currently working on August's. I'm pretty excited about August. I think you guys will have fun with it. Gosh, I didn't get that loop very tight there. That's okay. It can be a little loose. But I think, just a heads up, I think the August will also be on white. We're going to be doing a test stitch of it soon here. Oh, but what I was saying is this is feeling really familiar to me, these stitches, because I made a bajillion of these stitches this weekend. I had a whole big to-do list, you guys, and did none of it. Instead, I sat on the couch on Sunday and I did a pile of chain stitches over a hole in my shoes. I don't know if you guys saw that post. I'm going to show it to you guys, though, just because it happens to be here, and it's just making me laugh stitching all these stitches. But these are like my Allbirds shoes, and I've had them for a while, and these Allbirds, they get these little holes in the toes, which is annoying. So instead I kind of patched over the toe, and then like I put a bunch of stitches over the toe where there was a little bit of a hole, and then I went and I chain stitched rows. So this is just row after row of chain stitches. And I just filled in and made these like little toe caps for it. Like those gold-toed socks or something. So anyway, I just wanted to share that. I'm just getting a laugh out of the fact that I'm doing more chain stitches right now. It must be, I must have had, like, a huge chain stitch urge, because, like, this is a lot of chain stitching as of late. But that made me feel good. That was a repair that was sticking in the back of my head for a while, and it was fun to just finally do it and feel comfortable wearing the shoes again without busting a huge hole in them. But yeah, that took a lot longer than I thought it was going to. Oh, thanks, Marie. Oh, thanks, Nora. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun just to take a little moment and chill. It was more than a little moment. That took several hours to do. But it was fun. And that I did the same way because, I can't really go onto the inside of the shoe very easily. So I thought, a chain stitch would be a great way to do it, because I can do it the same way that I'm doing here. I can go in and out at the same time, so I can always stay on the outside of the shoe or on top of the fabric like this. So filling it with that chain stitch worked real well. But like, I don't know, have you seen people who do all this stitching on like Converse shoes? I mean, it looks amazing, like people embroidering like those canvas Converse shoes. that's gotta be so tough to stitch through. Because, I mean, you know, these shoes are kind of like a mesh, but there's still a thickness to them, and it was still not the easiest thing in the world to stitch through. Like, I wouldn't want to do it every day, like, as my thing. Like, I wouldn't want to customize Converse shoes. I mean, you have to have, I mean, like, they have to have, I don't know, some way to get through that canvas easily. Jenna, so I just wove in the ends to all that mesh. So I didn't, so basically kind of like what I'm doing here, but I kind of wove in the ends like this, but I stayed kind of on the top surface. And then I just stitched over the top of all those lines. So I knew I was doing this cover-up stitch basically, where anything I stitched wouldn't show anymore. So what I did is I just wove into the top of the mesh area, so I still was never underneath. So the 3 times, so back and forth 3 times. Then I kind of wove until I got to the hole, and then I did like basically a bunch of satin stitches around the hole, like where the toe was, where it was worn away. It wasn't entirely a hole yet, but it was going to be soon. And then I went to the start of where I was going to do my lines, and then I just went back and forth with chain stitches, and then again wove in the ends underneath those chain stitches, but still within the top of the shoe as I went. And I'm not worried about it coming apart in the wash or anything. I think they're pretty well stuck in there. And I've washed these shoes a bunch of times, so I know they're fine. Ooh, we are getting there here. Oh, thanks, Kathy. Yeah, I think it was worth the work. I mean, I'm wearing them again, and that was the goal. I was just, they just looked pretty grungy with those holes, and they're becoming annoying, so I'm really happy with them now. They're silly, but I like them. They're so comfy. I like just wearing them when I go out and stuff. Well, that's what I'm saying. So Sue says you're going to start a new fashion trend with your custom sneakers. So that's, I mean, like, that would be so difficult, I think. That's what I was saying with, like, the people. There's people out there that make amazing embroideries onto, like, Converse shoes. I just don't know how they have the hands to do that. Their hands and their needles got to be so strong, because even with that meshy fabric, it was, you know, work to get the needle through all those layers and stuff. And I don't know how you would do any other stitch where you have to go to the back of the fabric and then come out. I don't know. It seems like it'd be a difficult deal to be doing that a lot of the time, although they look so fun, those fancy Converse shoes that are all stitched. These are starting to kind of look like rows. They're kind of not looking so random anymore, but oh well, we're almost done. I'm actually probably going to have to get another piece of thread to finish this up here. I don't think I'm going to have enough. Actually, I'm pretty positive I'm not going to have enough for the rest of this up here, but oh well. I don't think they machine embroider them, Noeline. Some of these people doing like the custom Converses. I mean, I'm sure maybe some are, but I don't think they are. I think there's a lot of custom hand embroidery stuff. I mean, I think they're basically art pieces. Like, I'm sure, you know, you got to be buying them for an art piece, and I'm sure they're not inexpensive, because it'd be a lot of hours on those, I think. And I know there are machine chain stitchers available, but I would assume that they'd have to do all of that before the shoe is assembled. I don't know. All right, you know what? I don't think I have enough thread for any more. I'm going to go to the back. Let's weave in this little end. Did not win thread chicken there for sure. I got maybe 6 or 7 more stitches to do here. We'll do that, weave in the ends, and then we'll start up down here. I suspect we might only get half of this other row done. It does take a little bit of time to do all these chain stitches. So that's good. Well, if we don't get done, we'll finish it up tomorrow, along with, you know, playing around with maybe some other project that's sitting unfinished. I actually would kind of like to cut more fabric for my leader and ender project on the sewing machine, because I haven't been using my real leaders and enders for that. So there's magic quilt making that's not getting done by me not cutting that out. So I can show you what I mean by that if we work on that tomorrow, if you're familiar with that project. All right, this is the last bit of that first full skein of floss. So that's why I mentioned in the instructions that you might need two, especially like, and I'm splitting it into 3 strands still. So even then, you know, I might still, I probably have just enough with this one, but it's going to be cutting it real close here. All right, cutting a length there. All right, let's get our 3 strands off of here. Oh, Marie, you've darned shoes as well. See, so you can probably attest to that it ain't easy to go through all that stuff. How long will the scissors kit bundle be available? Okay, Jocelyn, it will be available till the end of July. I'm going to leave the mug. The mug will still be available. So if you want the fabric only mug with the scissors, the coffee cup with the scissors, that'll still be available. I'll probably start a new section of the shop for cups and that sort of thing. But the bundle will just be available till July 31st. And then it'll switch over to the August embroidery of the month. I do still have bundles available, and I will for this. So if you do want a bundle last minute, they will be available. They're not, in the past, I haven't had them available that long, just because they sell out. So on this one, I'm able to get it all together here without any extra stuff. So I'm able to have as many as we want for this one. Oh, Carol says, I finally started my Granny Square, the Granny Square quilt, and I see how addictive it can be. Yes, it is. It's just so, oops, sorry, I hit you guys there. It's so just thrilling, I think, to see how your block's going to turn out. It's just such a fun process, I think. So yes, more addictive than I thought, and I'm always excited when we start the Granny Square week. It is, you know, after a week is probably good. I'm really happy with how we're doing this year, how we're trading off weeks. I mean, I know this month has been odd because we're kind of circling around this embroidery, or this project here, but I'm really liking what we've done this year here for the live streams by doing, like, having a schedule, basically. So different weeks we work on different projects. So we're still working on a bunch of different projects, but they're only a week before we move on. So we're only doing like a week a month on all the projects. And you know what? A week is about as much as I can do with the Granny Square quilt. I'm always excited to work on them, but after the week I'm like, okay, I need a break because it is kind of a lot, and I'm really trying to rush to get them, all those blocks, like a full block done in a day. But yeah, so it's just enough, and I feel that with other projects as well. You get a little bit of fatigue from them, you know. So I really love. I especially like that we do the embroidery of the month. Not only is it fun to, I mean, we're doing a ton of quilting, right? So it's fun to take a little break from quilting since those are super long projects. And with the embroidery projects, they're like a quick win. So you can get that sense of accomplishment within these weeks that we don't always get from all these quilting projects. Ooh, that thread conditioner smells so amazing. I'm peeking up above these a little bit because I think it's kind of cute. It's like, it's like vegetation growing in front of the house or whatever. Like it's overlapping a little bit. I think that's kind of cute. So I'm making sure to go over my line, just a hair here and there. Oh, cool. Gretchen says that she's going to hand quilt the Granny Squares quilt. Oh, that'd be a great way to finish it, because it is framed after a traditional crocheted granny square Afghan. So it'd be fun to finish it with handwork, just like how crochet is handwork. I do want to actually, we might take a break at some point with the granny square, just for like the week or something, just to do a crocheted granny square. So I think it'd be fun, like within the idea of we're working on this granny square quilt, I think it would be fun to learn how to crochet a granny square. So one of these weeks we'll just take a break and we will crochet a granny square, and like we need another project, but it's fun. We could just make like a little granny square pillow to go with our granny square quilt. I think that would be a kind of a fun deal. Oh, Dawn says I need an 80% good cup. Yes, I want to make a fuzzle cup too. I'm hoping that we can be cranking out a whole pile of those soon. I'm really excited about it, actually, doing these cups. I'd like to do some art prints soon too, because I think a lot of these would be like really cute for kids' rooms and for other stuff, and just in sewing rooms. Eventually, I'd like to do t-shirts, but like I said, that first t-shirt place that I tried out, I'm not happy with. So the place that I really want to do it, they're not letting like new people do it yet because of COVID. They have a backlog, but I'm doing the cups and stuff for now, which I actually really love. So I'm gonna have a cute collection of penguin and fish mugs here soon, and I'll for sure share those when they're out. All right, so you guys, we got that one done. So again, I think just adding the stitches, first of all, it adds so much texture, but it really lightens up that dark stripe, which is kind of fun. So it's almost like this is the same fabric, but it's almost like we have two different fabrics just by how much this got lightened. So all right, so we're just gonna start on this last one here, and we'll work on it for the next half hour. Again, I don't think I'm gonna be able to finish that in a half hour, so we'll work on it tomorrow as well. The one thing I have to pay attention to with this one is I don't want to stitch a 1/4 inch from the edge. So see right here, I have a 1/4 inch here and a 1/4 inch here. That's because it's going to be sewn into the quilt eventually, right? So we're going to lose that. And the same thing here. So this whole edge will be sewn into the quilt. So I want to be at least a 1/4 inch away, so I'm not ultimately sewing over my stitches. So I'm just going to eyeball that. It looks like it's I have this funny little stripe here, and a 1/4 inch looks like it's maybe a little bit smaller than halfway. So as long as I don't cross over the halfway point of this white line, I think we'll be fine. So that's going to be my lookout area. Okay. So I am going to start with an away knot again. So this is my way. I like weaving in the ends. So you've seen me weave in the ends. It works great when you already have stitches on the back, but when you don't have a stitch on the back, you don't have anything to weave into. So I'm going to reserve a piece of thread to weave into by just kind of by an away knot. And what that is I'm just going to start with a knot, and I'm going to do it about 4 inches away from where I'm going to begin. So I'm going to actually go in right here from the front, and I'm going to come up where we're going to start stitching. So let's just start, that'll be my first stitch right here. So what I'm doing is I'm reserving a piece of thread that I will later use to weave in the end. So like here, I wove in the end here. So we're basically reserving floss for later by doing that. All right. Let's go back down here. Let me read some of your questions here. Hold on. What kind of yarn would be best for the crocheted granny square? I would like to do a whole Afghan. Oh, nice, but I don't have much yarn to work with. That is a good question, Catherine. Gosh, I'm gonna have to research what to do for that too. I don't know all the terms for the different yarn sizes. You're gonna want something that's less than bulky yarn, I think. I mean, if you use a really bulky yarn, you'll just have a really big granny square. But I think traditionally, you would use a little, like medium-sized yarn. I'm sure someone here is more familiar with yarn weights. I always have to look them up. So I'll look into that, and maybe we'll put a plan together. So maybe we'll actually put a date that we'll do that, so I can get you guys like a supplies list or something. Oh, Deborah says worsted weight is what's normally used. Okay. And worsted is also when the threads wrap around each other too, like it's twisted, I believe. Because like some other yarns, it'll just be not a twisted yarn. It'll just be like the roving kind of. All right, Nolene says 8-ply cotton or acrylic or wool, but like a blend of cotton. Traditionally, the granny square, Charlotte's saying, traditionally the granny square Afghans were made with acrylic knitting worsted, or like red heart. So like, yes, so that's kind of, when I'm thinking, it's really what you want to do, but like when I'm thinking granny square quilt, I'm thinking a grandma making it in the, like for me, they would be a grandma, but me, like a grandma making it in the 60s and 70s with horrible acrylic yarn. Just like a super acrylic yarn. I think there's a lot, I think you can get acrylic yarn now that is far less scratchy and stuff, so it's really kind of what you want to spend, really. I'll do some research, because if you want to do a whole Afghan, that's going to take quite a bit of yarn too, and you'll definitely want different colors, because that's the whole idea of the granny square quilt. A lot of people use or make granny squares out of their scraps too, so because you start with a center, kind of like how our granny square quilt has a center, and then there's a different color around that, and different color around that, and different color around that. So it's a great way to use up scraps. Barbara says, I don't think I'll use the 70s yarn. Yeah, good idea. Carol says, red heart acrylic yarn. Yes, so 70s. Oh, Deborah says, my aunt taught me with granny squares, my first craft. Ah, that's fabulous. That's exciting. Oh, Marie says wool ease is nice. Yeah, that'll be much softer and pretty. So I'll find some examples too. You know what? I'll dig into this more, because I know that there's some designers out there now doing it with just in kind of a modern way, like with modern colors that they're choosing, and then just so gorgeous and stuff too. I think there's a lot of fun ways that people are doing granny squares, and it'd be fun. And not to mention, there are so many variations on a granny square. Like, you can do a flower in the middle, and then, you know, all that. We're gonna do the like most basic traditional granny square. So maybe I'll see what I can find out there, and I'll I don't know, maybe I'll see what I can put together. Get like some crochet hooks or something too. That'd be kind of fun. But yeah, by doing that, we'll learn some basic crochet stuff, some basic crochet stitches, and still be able to make like this cool, neat thing. I think it'll be kind of fun. Yeah, ideally, Jocelyn's right. You'll want washable yarn. If you use like a wool yarn that's not a washable wool, it's going to shrink up, so your granny square that was this big is going to be like this big and all fuzzy, like a fuzzy just blob of a granny square. So you'll want something, you know, and I suspect that's why, well, and besides it was cheap, that's why everyone used, you know, a cheap acrylic yarn for the granny squares. But I think that would be fun. It's a nice little homage to what we're doing here. Maybe we'll do like a little, maybe I can find some yarn somewhere, and I could put like a kit together or something for just like a pillow size. That would be kind of fun. We'll see. I'll have to figure that out a little bit more. I love crochet, but I'm definitely don't feel like I'm anywhere near an expert in crochet. But I think I love it. It's one of my favorite things to do. You know, I don't know if you guys have seen, you know, I've made like all those doilies. I mean, I love it, but I have to follow a pattern. And I can show you guys how to do that too, you know, what different terms mean and all that. There's so many different ways to do, so many different stitches, and that they can do so many things with crochet. Like, it's almost like sculpture, really, I feel like, crochet. But a granny square, I think, would be a great way to get going. Great way to learn. Especially if you haven't tried that before. But yeah, maybe I'll put together a bundle. I'd like to do something like that. I'll have to see. Okay, I'm going to snip off our little away knot, if you remember him. And now that's released our little spare bit of thread here, floss. Now I'm going to thread that and weave in that in as well. And that's how I start when I don't have anything no backs yet, backs of stitches to weave in yet. I'll do this away knot method. Then you don't have any knots on the back, and it's just smooth and flat, nothing to get caught on. I like doing it this way. And it's secure still too. It's that third back track though that locks it in place. Okay, there we are. Oh, Barbara says a bundle would be great for granny squares. Yeah, maybe we'll put that together. I think that'd be fun. Write up some instructions, and it can be a whole bundle kit. I'll pick some like just traditional colors or something, or maybe we'll have a couple different color bundles or something. Oh, I like this idea. Just got to put it together now. So, well, we'll be working on the granny square quilt for quite a while yet, so there'll definitely be time to take a break and do the granny square stitching. It actually would be a really good winter thing to do. When it gets a bit chillier, get the fluffy, pretty yarn out, and oh gosh, I'm just tying knots on myself. And then crochet with some pretty yarn. That would be fun. I'm using the Hygge scent right now. This is that kind of like a pear scent. It's not necessarily fruity, like it's not sweet, but it's got that slight pear sweetness, like not overly sweet. Yeah, smells good. All right. I'm really actually liking these a lot. So I did actually use this on the shoes that I stitched as well. I think that's going to be kind of my go-to thing. I might use that for the fabric scissors embroidery too. I think it's just becoming a nice habit. And you know what? I think it's the smell. It's just fun having that yummy smell around. All right, I'm gonna weave in the end here, in the stitches that we already have. Oops, jeez. I suppose I gotta stop when I get to the end. Yeah, so like the kit would have to be either, I'm thinking either 4 bigger squares to make a pillow or like 9 smaller squares. I'll have to figure that out. I think either would be pretty cute. Oh, the the Hygge. It's the Hygge. I think, what did we say? It was a Dutch word for like warmth or calm or something like that. Which a warm pear smell. I think that's probably a good description for that. Okay. There we are. I'm gonna just jump down here. It feels like it needs one. This one I think I maybe got a little close to that 1/4 inch mark. I'm gonna have to not put him closer than that. He might get sewn over, but that's okay. Let's put one here. I'm trying to be random. Doesn't always work. Oh, Danish, not Dutch. Okay. This is what Paul is saying. Oh, Charlotte says she has one pillow, old pillow, that's just one large granny square. That'd be pretty cute too. So that's kind of the fun thing with granny squares, is you can make them as big as you want because you're starting from the center and you're just adding these borders, so they can be, you can go as large as you want, or you can just do like a couple and have them be smaller. So yeah, I suppose that's how we can control the size if we want to do like 9 squares or like 4. I think 4 would be kind of cute. We'll see. I'll have to look into that as a project idea. Fun little companion project to our granny squares. Alright, getting close to the edge, but I think we'll get one more in. Random is hard. It is hard. I mean, I'm trying to scatter them, right? I suppose random's the wrong word. I'm trying to scatter them, but so they don't look like they've been all planned out in perfect rows. But humans like things organized, so it's they all start kind of ending up in rows or ending up like equidistant from each other, and which is maybe what I'm going for. I don't know. Not super random. Smells so good. John managed to harvest 1 zucchini today. I'm telling you, our 2 zucchini plants are growing like crazy, But the squirrels, which we cannot keep away, we would have to put like a dome over our whole garden. They are straight eating every single growth that comes out of our zucchini plants. It's annoying. Oh, yeah, Kathy. Kathy says, I love to knit, but only know one pattern. I need to learn more. So that's sort of how I feel about knitting as well. Like with crochet, I feel like crochet to me is a little less scary, especially for beginners, because you're only dealing with one stitch ever. Well, yeah, let's just call it that, unless you want to get fancy and do some crazy fancy stitches. But in general, with crochet, you're really only dealing with one stitch. So if something goes wrong with that one stitch, it's pretty easy to go back a little bit and fix it. You're not dealing with like a whole pile of stitches on the needle at once like you are with knitting. So I think it's a little less scary to start, but that's kind of was my feeling for ages, and it still kind of is with knitting, that I like know the like one thing that I can do with knitting, and can't comfortably do much more. So knitting is something I wanted to kind of learn a bit more about too. Like I need a splendid sampler project for knitting so I can learn like all there is to learn. I have that lamb project that I'm working on yet, but I gotta look up how to do every stitch every single time. I do have that knitting, oh, what's it called? It's a book about knitting errors. Like, if this goes wrong with your knitting, here's how to fix it. Oh, Knit Fix, that's what it's called. Knit Fix. I want to go through that from start to end. I read it all. I haven't done it, though, but I've read it. Just sitting around reading knitting books. But I want to knit like a swatch and then on purpose make the errors so I can try to switch them or change them, because I'm not comfortable with the idea of like losing a stitch on the needle, or what if all my stitches fall off the needle? How do I get them back on correctly? Or how do what's the best way to increase or decrease, and why would I want to do one or the other and over the other, and and any stitch that isn't just like a knit or purl, I have to look up. And it'd be nice to not have to look up the stitches all the time. So I think crochet is a bit more straightforward. Crochet I don't think looks as clean and pretty as knitting. Like there's some orderliness and cleanliness and beauty with knitting. Like all the stitches just laying all flat and pretty. And you don't get that as well with crochet. Like it's more twisty. So there's a prettiness with knitting, and that's why I want to learn it more. But Amy says learning to unknit is key. Exactly. That's what I'm not comfortable with. All that stuff. Like I'm just afraid I will look up and accidentally pull all my needles off of the thing, and then a few of the stitches. I'll pull all the stitches off the needle, and then a few of the stitches will like go run, and I'll have to somehow get those back up, or I don't know. There's fear fear in knitting a little bit, even though it is super super relaxing. But I find it relaxing when you're doing like a simple pattern where you're repeating the same thing over and over, like the same series of stitches over and over, even if you have to learn a few stitches. But once you get going, it's just the same. That's what I enjoy with knitting. But I do want to feel more comfortable with it for sure. And that's why I think crochet is maybe a little less fear involved. Just because you're dealing with the one hook, the one stitch. I think it's a little hard to figure out the anatomy of crochet stitches sometimes, especially when you're beginning, but we can work through that too. Oh, Jenna says that the hygge, this means the pursuit of everyday happiness. Ugh, that's nice. Okay, I need to hear that. I'll think about that every time I use this. Oh no, that's a bummer, Catherine. Yeah, stores closing now is especially, I'm sure it's especially happening a lot. Well, I would never, Noeline, on purpose pull the needles out. The knitting, like if I pulled the knitting needles and all my stitches came off, I would never, in theory, on purpose do that, but I don't know. Something gets snagged or you look one way too quick and all of a sudden they're all gone. That's the fear. That has never actually happened. I don't think, to me, but it's still the fear. Alright, you guys, I think that's going to be my last stitch. I can probably sneak one more out of here, but then I think we're going to call it a night there. And tomorrow we'll finish up this little area and maybe work on one other thing or so. Alright, last stitch to anchor that down, and I think we have just enough to weave in the end, like just barely enough. I'm trying to grab as much as I can because these stitches aren't, I mean, they're kind of far apart, so they're not the best stitches to weave in, but I am still trying to grab what I can, wrap my needle around all these stitches. Okay, snip that. All right, let's see what we got. Okay, so just a little bit left, but again, it's lessening the contrast of this darkness, so it is just kind of calming the whole thing down. I'm liking it. Yay, so we're almost done with this block. Tomorrow, too, we'll be able to lay out all the blocks and to kind of see our progress, so that'll be fun. All right, you guys. All right, hello again. So let's take a look at it from here. Sometimes it looks different from far away. Ooh, that middle row is so much more purple than the first row, doesn't it? Doesn't it look like that? Oh, that's funny. It's like super purple, that middle row. I love it. I love how this is turning out. So thanks, you guys, for working on this with me and for sharing your progress in the Penguin and Fish Crafters group. It's awesome to see you guys working on this. I love it. And yeah, Wednesday we will be working on the fabric only embroidery. So if you want to get it started right away, the PDF pattern is available alone, but the bundle is still available, and the bundle comes with the whole collection of my new embroidery floss. So there's 23 skeins of my new embroidery floss, and that comes with the bundle, along with the fabric, the white fabric, and a needle, and the sticky version, so you get the stick-on version of the pattern. But with the bundle, you also do get the printable pattern. So if you've purchased a bundle, be sure to check your emails. In the receipt, you do actually get the PDF printable pattern as well. The same thing that you would get if you just got the printable pattern. So check your emails for that. And yeah, so if you did want the bundle with the floss, I will be sending them out this week, and you'll still have the pattern as a PDF if you wanted to get going right away. So awesome, you guys. Have a great evening, and I will see you tomorrow. Good night.